Hey, what's up, Culture Drop? Galen here. This video is about how to make more effective, better decisions as a team. Okay, I'm gonna add some tools to your tool belt. Get it? Tools, Carrie's idea. Also, you may have noticed I have a D&D shirt on because I'm a huge nerd, and the most important tool to any nerd is this puppy. It's a D20. If you don't know what this is, you need to get nerdier with your life. Let's do this. A lot of teams struggle with making decisions as a team. Part of the challenge is that on teams, we have a lot of different input, different ways of seeing things, different directions, different opinions and perspectives on how do we go forward and what do we do. Making decisions as a team is a pitfall. Here's my perspective about how to be more efficient in terms of how do you go about making decisions and what are some of the mindsets and tools that you can use going forward. What we want to avoid around decisions is letting decisions linger forever or creating mess or just having decisions that everybody's not in line with, etc. And for decisions, there's a reason that plays have one single director. There's a reason that there's a head coach on a team. It does make things a lot more efficient if one person is sort of like the lightning rod and in charge and gets to sort of like, here's the shot, right? I'm gonna call this shot, and then everybody's gonna go with that. And while one single person making the call and like being the decision maker all the time adds efficiency, there's also a downside to that. If we don't have perspectives and input from different people, we can end up making decisions that are not ideal. And also people can feel like not listened to or not heard. Like there's sort of like this dictatorship kind of what I say goes and that's it. Having access to different perspectives and different opinions is good, right? It's healthy to have that kind of dialogue. It allows us to see more angles when we're making decisions, but we want to add efficiency to the process and not have people end up feeling like their voices aren't heard, etc. Here's how to do that. To avoid having decisions just linger forever or feeling like there's too much input so we're sort of paralyzed in terms of how we make a decision, here's a little model that you can use. Number one, decide what type of process you're going to use to make the decision. And I really see this as sort of three different angles. Number one person will make the final decision and we go along with whatever they say. Number two, we get consensus. So we have debate and dialogue until everybody agrees and then we all move forward in this direction. Or number three, we have a majority, right? We have conversation, we have some dialogue, some debate, etc. And then we just take a vote and the majority gets to choose. It's really helpful on teams or with any situation where we're making decisions as a group to be clear about how we are making this decision from the outset. This is what we're gonna do. And in all three of those scenarios, it's really important to get input from everybody, right? So if I'm the final decision maker, the process would still look like, let's get input from every single person in terms of the direction to go, what they see, their perspective, and then I will be the one making the final decision. Same thing with the other two. It's like we're getting input as part of that process, right? People are getting to state their case, give their perspectives and share, and then we're either gonna have one person decide, get a consensus together, or majority rules. The usefulness of being clear about this in the process, as opposed to just a muddy scenario where it's like, well, we have to make this decision, is that if you confuse people as to whether or not they're giving input, then you can create hurt feelings or chaos or confusion by being like, you're gonna give input, you're not a decision maker. And so people being confused to think that they have all equal parts decision making here, when the reality is that this person's gonna make the final decision. If we set that expectation from the beginning, it's easier to go through the process. And when a decision is made, it's easier for people to feel like, okay, I understood that I was just giving input or I'm part of the decision-making process. One final note I wanna make about this that's important for teams and decisions and groups making decisions is this. You have to implement the mantra of disagree and commit. So no matter what, you have to have a foundation and a culture on your team that no matter what, no matter how we make this decision, that once the decision is made, everybody gets on board, buys in, and rows in the same direction. Right? We have to set the foundation that even if you disagree with this decision, we have to commit. And that's important because otherwise you have people that are like, I don't like how this decision was made. I'm gonna sabotage it, or I'm not gonna participate, or I hope it fails. That's really important to have that mentality as a team to say, we're gonna go through this process to have this decision. And at the end of it, whatever's made, everybody's oars in the water, rowing the same direction, disagree and commit. If you disagree, it's like we still have to move forward. This is especially important for leaders, right? If you disagree with a decision and then you go back to your direct reports and your team and you be like, I don't know why they're doing this thing, you undermine the success and the progress that the organization can make by having that choice. That's really important, right? That you take ownership and responsibility to not sabotage, to not hope something fails because you thought we should go this direction. Instead, once the decision is made, we get on board, we move together. I don't hold these with just these fingers, man. Thanks for watching and tuning in. Subscribe to our channel. We put a lot of content on here. You can also subscribe to the Culture Drop mailing list and get these emails in your inbox every Tuesday morning. Follow our social media channels. Put a lot of free content out about just being more awesome and building great teams.